Hey guys, Tom here again from SerumPresets.com, and in this video we're going to be making this deep house key sound completely from scratch and kind of explaining why we're doing what we're doing. So first of all, I'll just demonstrate the sound for you. So as you can tell, it's a really nice plucky kind of key sound. It sounds quite Rhodesy in a way. Honestly, I think it could be used in a lot of different genres, but kind of deep house was the genre that I had in mind when I was creating this patch. So we're going to be creating it from completely from scratch, but just before I get into that, just to mention, this is actually key 16 from my Deep House preset pack over at SerumPresets.com. There's 16 key sounds in there, along with 16 effects, 32 basses, 32 leads, and 32 pads, all handcrafted by me, specifically for Deep House. So if Deep House isn't really your thing, it might not be for you, but if you're into those kind of sounds, head over to SerumPresets.com and check that out. So without further ado, let's get into making this sound completely from scratch, from square one. So if we listen to this now, it's probably going to be quite loud because it's just a saw wave. Yeah, so those are the same chords there that I'm putting in, and what I'll do is actually build it from scratch and kind of explain what I'm doing as I do it. So if you've seen my other Deep House tutorials for the bass and lead, we actually used the same wavetable for both of those. We used an analog wavetable. But in this video, we're going to be using the bottle blow wavetable, which has really got this really nice hollow characteristic to it. It's hard to explain, but I find that this is really good for key sounds for kind of deep house. I mean, you could honestly use, there's so many different wavetables that you can use and so many different creative things you can do. So I would advise you to kind of experiment with other wavetables. But for this sound in particular, we're going to be using the bottle blow wavetable. So the first thing we're going to do is just listen to how it sounds as is. So we've got a long way to go, yeah, it has to be said. So what we're going to do first is increase the unison, because even just increasing the unison to 2 and having 2 different voices makes such a big difference to the sound, as I'll just demonstrate. So already that sounds a lot thicker. So the first thing we're going to do really is set up our amplitude envelope and kind of decide what we want for this kind of sound. So because it's a key sound, we are going to want some sustain, a little bit of release perhaps, but maybe not too much, because if we're changing chords fast, that's going to kind of conflict with each other, something like that. And what we're also going to do here is use envelope 2 in a kind of different manner to envelope 1. We're actually going to use this as a modulation source for a few things. The first thing we're going to use it for is for the wavetable position. So what I'm going to do is cycle through the wavetable position and kind of see what sounds we actually like. So as you can hear, that very dramatically changes. I really like some of the harmonics in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an envelope to modulate the wavetable position. I'm actually going to drag and drop this envelope on it here and modulate it over time. So we'll just listen to this. So already that's added a lot of interest, and to be honest, within Serum, one of the easiest, quickest ways you can dramatically change a sound is by modulating the wavetable positions, because essentially if we look at the 3D view here, essentially what this is doing is cycling through tens or even sometimes a couple of hundred waveforms very quickly, and that is a really great way to dramatically change the sound. So, I mean, we could add another voice here and see if that thickens it up a bit and sounds good. Now, if we were going for kind of a paddy type sound rather than a key sound, you could definitely detune the voices a bit more. That makes it sound a bit wider, and you can't really, it doesn't sound quite as upfront. It like kind of softens it up a bit, but because the sound we're going for here is kind of a key sound, that kind of, we want the impact of the keys. We want it to be not detuned too much, as you can hear there. So the next thing we're going to add is just a simple low pass dB12 filter. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that oscillator A is being routed through the filter, and we do this by just clicking this button here, and this will already have a dramatic impact on the sound, because a low pass filter simply lets the lower frequencies through and cuts the higher frequencies of the sound out depending on where we have our cutoff frequency. So already we'll be able to hear a dramatic difference here. If it works, there we go. So as you can kind of hear there, when we increase the cutoff, it has this really nice effect. And what we're going to do is actually use the same envelope we used to modulate the wavetable position on oscillator A to modulate the cutoff, so it can do that effect for us automatically very fast. So this will have a really, really nice effect, as you'll just hear here. So that really, really helps with the kind of key sound that we're after, because you can kind of hear the impact of the sound with the cutoff being modulated. So another thing we're going to add to the sound is just a little bit of noise. I think we'll just use the, I'm not sure which noise. I mean, you could go a number of routes with this. I think we're just going to stick with the basic AC hum. And one thing we're going to make sure to do is make sure that the noise isn't too loud. Now, there's two ways you could go about it. In the demonstration, I routed the noise through the filter, and that just helps fill it out a little bit more. I'll just demonstrate that. So that's with it being routed through the filter, and that fills it out a little bit. The other way you could go about this, and it's kind of optional, is you could not route this through the filter, and what this will do is just add a bit of attack to the sound. You could even make this envelope sharper. Personally, I think it sounds better routed through the filter, but that is completely up to you. That's just another option that you can go down. I still think that sounds good. So this key sound is really, really coming together. One effect that I really like on key sounds is vibrato. So essentially what vibrato is just a very rapid automation of pitch, or really rapid change in pitch. So one way we can achieve this is using an LFO. So if we increase the rate of the LFO to 1 to 32, this is quite a fast rate, what we can do is drag and drop it onto the fine tuning parameter on the oscillator. And what essentially this does, so you have your octave of the note, the semitone, and the fine tuning is just a way to very slightly detune a synth without actually changing what note it is. So we're probably going to want quite a subtle effect here. We'll just see what this sounds like. So you could be quite extreme with it, and that's a very kind of obvious effect, or you can just kind of add a little bit of subtle vibrato. I think it sounds better quite subtle, but obviously, again, it's always down to personal taste in terms of what you think sounds better. So that's just another way to add a little bit of polish to the sound. So this is sounding really good, really, really good. I'm happy with the oscillator and the filter and all the modulation we've got going on. Something else we're going to do is dive into the effects. So I'm happy with the sound so far, but I think it could sound a little bit bigger. So what we can do is use the hyper and dimension effects to make it sound a bit bigger. So I'll just First of all, we're not going to be using the dimension for this effect, we're just going to be using the hyper section, and by default the mix of the dimension effect is set to 0, so this isn't actually changing the sound in any way. We're just going to be focusing on the hyper section of the effect. So the hyper effect basically uses unison to make it sound bigger, which you'll be able to hear. So already you can notice there that it sounds a lot bigger. So I'm really happy with that effect. It just adds a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of warmth to it. It makes it sound a bit thicker, a bit bigger. And typically, if you are using this sound in kind of the breakdown of a deep house track, there's not really going to be that much going on. So it's a really great way to kind of make it fill out the mix a bit more. Something else we can add is just a little bit of reverb. We don't want too much, just a subtle bit really. Probably with a low mix amount and a high reverb sound. I mean size, sorry, not sound. Something else I'm going to do as well is just add a little bit of low cut to the sound, to the reverb, sorry, so that not too many low frequencies will be going through the reverb, because that can kind of muddy the sound up a bit. Something else we're going to do as well is, I think I can notice some kind of harsh frequencies in the higher end of the frequency spectrum coming out of the reverb basically. So what we can do is use this dampening parameter here to kind of attenuate the higher frequencies, and it kind of gives it a darker timbre, which is what we're after with deep house. So that pretty much covers it, guys. This is a really nice patch. I hope you've learned a lot from this tutorial. It was quite a short one. There's not really much more to it. I mean, you could do other stuff. One thing that might be good to do would be to add a low shelf EQ just to cut out some of the lower frequencies, just to clean it up a little bit, and it'll kind of make it work a little bit better in the mix. I can't really think of anything else you might want to add. Possibly some delay. We'll see what this sounds like. Yeah, that sounds pretty good actually. So really, you can be as creative as you like. I mean, once you've got the basics down, the basics of the oscillator, noise, and filter, you can be really creative as you want with the effects. You might want to try some different wavetables, maybe play around with some different filters as well, who knows. So hopefully you got a lot out of this video. Again, I'll just mention there's kind of a really big collection of presets like this over at my website at SerumPresets.com. Deep House Volume 1, there's more details over there. Thanks in advance if you decide to go and check that out. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to get updated with new Serum videos. The only videos that I'm going to be uploading on this YouTube channel are for Serum, so don't worry about kind of getting updates on videos you don't care about. Literally, this channel is completely devoted to Serum, so feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and feel free to drop me a like as well. That really helps support me and the channel. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.